Look at us go.
Hoot, hoot.
Live streaming, we're recording. My goodness, look at all this technology coming.
Oh, did you mute yourself? I didn't do it. Oh, I love it.
It's today's God Call with Reverend Bill.
When April showers create a puddle, you can use that to remind yourself of love in the world. Go find a puddle, and if the surface is disturbed by the breeze, there are ripples, there are things floating in it, let them settle out. Let the surface become calm, and then when you look into it, what you will see is that bright light of God's love. It is you reflected. Let your light shine.
Raindrops keep falling on my head, just like the guy whose feet are too big for his bed. Nothing seems to fit. Those raindrops are falling on my head, they keep falling. Oh, I just did me some talking to the sun, and I said I didn't like the way he got things done. Sleeping on the job, those raindrops are falling on my head, they keep falling. But there's one thing I know, the blues they send to meet me won't defeat me. It won't be long till happiness steps up to greet me. Raindrops keep falling on my head, but that doesn't mean my eyes will soon be turning red. Crying's not for me, 'cause I'm never gonna stop the rain by complaining, because I'm free. Nothing's worrying me. Na, 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 na. It won't be long till happiness steps up to greet me. Raindrops keep falling on my head, but that doesn't mean my eyes will soon be turning red. Crying's not for me, 'cause I'm never gonna stop the rain by complaining, because I'm free. Nothing's worrying me.
Thank you so much, Susan. That was wonderful. And in the department about One Mind, Susan had chosen the song well before we chose which of the God calls was going to be played, and they're both about showers. So maybe it's April, but it's One Mind. I love when that happens. So, good morning, New Thought Philadelphia. It is wonderful to see you here. You know the rules on Zoom, just basically keep yourself muted except when sharing or when joining together to make a raucous noise. Let's do that now. Go ahead and unmute and you can repeat after me. I open myself to love.
I
open myself to love.
I open myself to joy.
I open myself to joy.
I open myself to the awareness of good surrounding me.
I open
myself to the awareness of good
surrounding
surrounding me.
And I know love is right here, right now.
I
know love is
love
right here, right now.
And so it is.
So it is.
There you go. You can mute yourself one more time as I remind you that New Thought Philadelphia is an open and loving community of spiritual adventurers, welcoming each person to experience their divine nature in an empowering space of unconditional love. So whatever path you've been on, whatever brought you to our Zoom today, wherever you're heading next, we have been expecting you. And welcome home. We believe there's one power, love, intelligence, or force that creates everything, including each of us. And we believe that we each use that same power, love, intelligence, or force to create our lives according to our beliefs. The way we like to say it for short is your new life begins with a new thought. There you go. If you have an extra electronic device or two, first off, I wouldn't be a bit surprised. Second of all, you can turn it on shush until the end of the celebration so it doesn't interrupt or distract you. And to remind yourself that this is a time that we get to turn inward and connect rather than be distracted by the things going on in the world around us. I'm Bill Marchiony, the spiritual director here at New Thought Philadelphia. Our music today is by Jersey Girl Music in Massachusetts, Susan Catania. And our practitioners are Carolyn Nixon, RSCP, and and Joe Catanzaro, RSCP. And Joe is going to start us the way we start everything, with a practical prayer.
Good morning. Take a breath and settle in and know with me. We are separated right now by time and space and distance. But look at that a little bit differently and realize that we are all connected. We are all connected by source, by that one power, love, intelligence, and mind that we talk about. We are each individual expressions of that. But take a moment to reconnect with yourself as a human being versus a human doing. Be that presence, be that love, be that light, be that mind. Be and use that power. Remember the truth that we are each spirit embodied in a unique way. Allow it, accept it, all of this, all of it just flow through us. Allow yourself to rest as that which needs no thinking to exist. So for everything we come together today and do, everything we share, everything we learn, all the little aha moments, the music, the words, the sharing, open to it, accept it, allow it. It's there for the taking. It will enrich us. It does enrich us. Let it flow through you and then outward to the rest of your world. So for the time we spend together, for everything we share, I am so grateful. Grateful for each one here. I'm grateful for all the good that we create together. I claim it, I allow it, and I will release my word to the law that always says yes, and so it is.
So it is. Thank you, Joe. The reason we do a prayer is because it changes something. That's kind of the whole idea of making it be a practical prayer. So we like to allow a little time today to share how your prayers have been working. Anybody had a prayer that worked for you in the last week or so? Love to hear about it. Go ahead, Jane.
Okay, good morning. So this Tuesday of this week, I had to deliver all my paintings to the show where I'm showing. And it's like 45 minutes to an hour away. And I left my house. I gave myself plenty of time. And then I hit so much road work and construction, and my initial reaction was, oh my God, I'm not going to make my time slot. There's no way I'm going to make it here. I'm not going to make it on time to deliver all this work. And so lo and behold, I don't know how prayer works, because I was like, no, I'm not going to have that attitude. I'm going to affirm that I'm going to get there on time and it's going to go smoothly. And that's all there is to that. So I did make it up to Yellow Springs right in time when my time slot began. And the parking there was just nuts. They're really cracking down in the village on like where people can drop things off. And so then my second prayer was, oh, please don't make me have to like go all the way out to the remote parking lot and schlep all these heavy paintings by myself, because I was by myself. And then a woman came out and who was running the show, and she said, oh, just park right here, right in front of the building, and just drop your stuff off. And I'm like, oh my God, thank you. And then I went in and I didn't have to wait. She said, just go right in that room. You're the first person there waiting for you. So that was great. It went smoothly.
I love when that happens. Love when that happens. Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else got a story to share? Go ahead, Sarah.
It was kind of like a whirlwind of just being open to like what the journey looks like is. So I had said yes to being like a bearing witness to somebody doing something that they did not want to do. And yesterday, we pushed it off, and yesterday was the day that it got rain checked for. But yesterday was also Earth Day and 420, so there's like a lot of fun going on as well. So like I showed up as a woman of my word, like ready to, do this thing that no one wanted to do. And then because I didn't want to go, just to be clear, but I affirmed that like be a woman of your words, say yes, you said yes once. What else are you going to do? You might as well go. And then it ended up just like being put off again, which that's not my problem to handle, but ended up turning into like a fun adventure where I had like brought my big bubbles and I brought, tie-dye stuff to tie up. And we ended up like meeting up with a big group of people that like I knew a couple of them, but didn't know others. So anytime you make a commitment and you're open to that commitment showing up the best that it can, I'm just grateful that it turned into like spirit community and like just meeting more versions of myself, just different. And so that was really nice. And that felt like a prayer that I didn't even pray for. So the universe gives you like what you want at the end of the day. Like, what is it that you always say? It's like not exactly what you say, but it's what you believe. So like I believed I wanted to have fun and be with people. And so even though that's not what I said yes to, it said yes to me. So it was nice. Prayer can work.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, we'll talk more about that when we get to the talk part of today. I had a prayer work story. I had told you a few months ago that my brother had a family member who got a diagnosis. They were expecting that maybe she'd last 2 or 4 weeks. I said, and he said, well, you're the one who does prayer, so can you do a prayer? And I said, yep. And he called me yesterday and he said, what'd you pray for? What was that prayer? Because she's still home and going strong and and it's been like 8 or 10 weeks. So, and I said that the prayer was not for her to live forever. It was not to fight or overcome something. It was about harmony and balance and peace of mind and love unfolding and guidance and peace of mind for everybody involved. And the best possible experience that everybody involved can have. And okay, so there we go. And when we let go of our attachment to things, as Sarah was pointing out, when we're not being specific about I got to have this and I got to have that, and we get ourselves into that the tone and texture, this is the sort of feeling that I want to have. That gives the universe an awful lot of latitude to answer our prayers. So I'm going to turn it back over to Jane, who's going to do the announcements. If you have a kazoo on standby, go ahead and unmute and kazoo the announcements in.
Good morning. This earthly information is on our website at newthoughtphilly.org and in our weekly e-newsletter. Please sign up on the website so we can keep in touch. We host 15-minute meditations on Zoom twice every day. If you haven't taken part lately, Zoom in this week. They're inspiring, fun, and quick. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings this week are also on Insight Timer Live. World Labyrinth Day is Saturday, May 4th. We will walk as one at St. Thomas's Church in White Marsh, led by Jane Downey, our friend and widely renowned labyrinth expert. Contact Reverend Bill to join the group for lunch beforehand. Episode 148 of Reverend Bill's Practical Prayer Podcast is Eclipse, Earthquake, and AI. Listen wherever you get your podcasts. You can also get a peek behind the scenes in the live recording session on Monday at 1 p.m. on New Thought Media Network. The personal practitioner class that begins in the fall will boost your spiritual practice to the next level. Contact Reverend Bill to see what you need to do to be ready. There is no obligation to continue to professional training in year 2. Follow, subscribe, like, and share our social media on Instagram, Facebook, Insight Timer, and YouTube. And join the 1,787 spiritual adventurers in our group on meetup.com. The Power of 8 Intention Circle meets on Zoom every Monday at 6:30 p.m. All are invited to join us tomorrow for this powerful group spiritual practice. And I'm also going to do a shameless plug for my art show. So if any of you are in the tri-state area, it is at Historic Yellow Springs, which is in Chester Springs, Pennsylvania. Beautiful show. Over 200 artists. It's been running for 51 years. It's really nice. It opens on April 27th and it closes on May 12th. So there you go. We are always grateful for your financial support. You can make a tax-deductible donation by Zelle, Cash App, check, PayPal, Venmo, credit card, or debit card. Thank you to the team that makes our celebrations work and has fun doing it. To join the joy, contact Sandy. Next Sunday is online with the Word. Sources as different as metaphysics and scripture agree on the creative power of the Word. Reverend Bill offers perspective on the words we use and the powers they have. Live original music by Jeff Lesser. The practitioners are available for professional sessions by appointment. After the celebration today, Joe is available for a quick miracle in a minute prayer. We'll leave the Zoom meeting open after the celebration for casual conversation.
Thank you, Jane. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing all the art out in Historic Yellow Springs. Is that actually the name of the town, Historic? Or is they insist on putting the adjective?
It's Chester Springs, but it's this beautiful little village called Historic Yellow Springs.
Okay.
It's just these real, it's very nice. And if the day is nice, which I'm sure it's going to be nice and sunny and bright, it's a beautiful walk around in the village and the building. It's nice.
Okay. I'm thinking about changing my first name to Legendary. Just, to always be the legendary Bill Marchiony. Anyway, when we get together in person, we have a special gift and a blessing for our second-time visitors. So come pick up a lovely pen and keychain flashlight when we're at the Falzer Club. And we also have a blessing and a welcome for people who are joining us for the first time. So if you're here for the first time and you'd like to wave your hand so that we can identify you, we'll go ahead and do that. And the rest of us are going to rub our hands and a little bit of welcome. Feel the warmth, feel the love, send that out. You are the bright light of God's love. Thank you for sharing that love and shining that light with us today. And welcome. So Susan's going to do a very spiritual Tom Petty song. And while she does that, let's go into gallery view or swipe through and take a look at into the eyes of the divine expressions of love who we're sharing this morning with. Susan?
You belong among the wildflowers. You belong in a boat out to sea. Sail away, kill off the hours. You belong somewhere you
Thank you, thank you, thank you, Susan. Lovely. So, in the announcements, you hear every week that if you'd like to join the team that makes the celebration happen, you can do that. And we are welcoming to the team today, Scopy Mosley. He's been around for a while. Used to live in Philly. Now he doesn't anymore, but that's thank goodness for Zoom. And Scopy is going to lead us in the flames of faith today.
Good morning, everybody. We perform this ceremony to acknowledge that all people and all faiths come from the one, power, love, intelligence, which we call spirit or God. We honor the richness and from our sacred diversity and bless the interwoven energy of the divine, feminine, and masculine. We light the first candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the second candle for the earth-based traditions, honoring beliefs and practices for all indigenous people, the way of primal spirituality. We light the third candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the fourth candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the fifth candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths. We light the fifth candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the sixth candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the seventh candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God at its highest calling. We light the eighth candle for the universal religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the ninth candle for all forms of New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal and spiritual principles. As we light the healing candle, please put silently into the light the names of anyone or any place you wish to have experienced the healing flame of God's eternal love.
Blessed be.
Blessed be.
The reading today comes from the book New Thoughts for Today, which is a compilation of basically articles, submissions written by Anton members, affiliated New Thought Network. And this one is by Reverend Donna Baranier, and it's going to be shared with us by Sandy.
The power to choose. The most important decision we make is whether we believe we live in a friendly or hostile universe. And that's Albert Einstein quote. Okay, Spirit has gifted us with something that goes by many names: volition, free will, or choice. How many times in life have we felt rudderless, with no sense of direction, or feel that we don't have the ability to make a decision regarding whatever the situation we are facing? There are times, wait a second. There are times we may feel stuck, unable to move in any direction, and or feel overwhelmed. In life, we experience the gamut of experience, and it's up to us to decide how we view them. We came here to learn lessons. If we see the world as friendly, then all our experiences are for our highest and best good. If we see the world as hostile, then we may see everything from a victim perspective. We get to choose how we define our experiences in life. Metaphysics teaches that we have the power of choice. God or Spirit bestowed upon us this gift of choice. Over the years, I have been studying metaphysics. This is something I sometimes forget. the power of choice. In these moments, I'm reminded of Einstein's quote above. It's up to me how I see the world and how I perceive human issues or conditions that I may be facing in any given moment. What's your choice? And the affirmation is, today I choose to live as a spiritual being having a human experience. God guides me in every moment, and I embrace a life steeped in the divine.
My worry is an anchor, tying you down close to me. Guess you'll call when you're ready. These are uncharted waters. I can't keep you safe from these seas. God knows where we're heading. I know you think that you're alone. You don't have to do this on your own. Where we sink or swim is giving up, giving in. No one has to win. I just love you. I won't judge or shame. You got something hard to say. Just want you to be okay. 'Cause I love you. I just love you. I feel you going under. You're lost in a blue, oh so deep, with a fear so heavy. I can't be your savior, but I'll be right here when you need. If you'll only let me. It's been this way since you were born. I can't be right in my world till you're right in yours. Do we sink or swim? Is giving up, giving in. No one has to win. I just love you. I won't judge or shame. You got something hard to say. Just want you to be okay. 'Cause I love you. I just love you. Just want you to be okay. 'Cause I love you. I just love you.
Thank you, Susan. That was wonderful. That's an original. So thank you. It's wonderful to have you with us. You ever feel like you're heading down the wrong path? And a feeling comes along, it's like, I don't know if this is where I want to be going. I don't know if this is what I want to have happen. And there's an expression that people attribute to Ernest Holmes: change your thinking, change your life. Well, if you're headed down the wrong path, you don't like the path that you're on, just change your thinking, change your path, and your life changes. Sounds so simple. Yeah, there's some nuance that's involved there, because this is not easy. This is not necessarily an easy thing to do. There's somebody who has often said, the way you do anything is the way you do everything. And what we can do is we can change the way that we do anything. We can change the way we do everything, but it doesn't necessarily all happen at once. And it doesn't really matter what it is that we want to be changing. And you're talking about weight loss or fitness. There's the thought, well, okay, I need to go to the gym. And if you go to the gym for the first time and you haven't been to the gym in forever and you try and lift more than you can lift, you're not going back to the gym for a while. You're either going to be staying at home going, ouch, or otherwise be sidelined. And even if you do manage to lift what it is that you're lifting, you got to go back again. You got to go to the gym one more time. You know, when I know people who have dropped a ton of weight, several of us that are on this Zoom right now. I'm currently 120 something pounds less than I was at my peak. And I did not lose 120 pounds in a weekend. It took a while. And then it's taking some attention to keep it going. The same thing happens with lots of different areas in our life. And the reason that I bring this up is because of vectors. Now, the way a vector works is if you imagine yourself standing in a particular place and you're going to be heading east, you can walk east and you're going to go all the way around the planet to the east or till you get to whatever you're going to be getting to. And if you turn just 1 degree south or north and start walking, the first few steps, not going to make much of a difference. The first block or so, not going to make that much of a difference. You go long enough, though, it winds up making a huge difference. It makes a huge difference. When the lunar missions were coming back from the moon, the just tiniest change in that trajectory, the little tiny vector from the distance of 250,000 miles or to however far away it is to the moon, that little tiny difference is the difference between getting home and being lost in space. So what we need to do in any of the activities that we're involved in, yes, and you might not be planning a lunar mission of your own, so there's different things that are going on. Perhaps it has something more to do with a relationship or finances. What you want to do is start with the awareness of where you are. Am I heading down the wrong path? And then be intentional that I want to change that. I want my experience to be something different. And then make a nudge in that direction. And then persist. You get to keep it up. You get to go back to the gym one more time. You get to stay on whatever that weight management program was. If the program is a workable program, then when you work the program works. And that applies to all sorts of things. And don't take input from the world around you about how it's not working or you need to be doing something different. There was a time back when GPSs were relatively new and they weren't built into everybody's phone. Or I think you can get a toaster now with a GPS built into it. And I was working, we were in Orlando and we had to go to Daytona for a meeting. And the rental car company rented us this GPS. And we thought, well, we're going to get that because we need to make sure that we get to the right place when we were in Daytona because we didn't know anything about Daytona. I didn't realize there was a really crappy GPS. It was like a cell phone that had a little program attached to it. This was well before smartphones. This was pretty much well before stupid phones. And this thing was not very well informed. And the reason I bring that up is because if you've ever traveled between Orlando and Daytona, there's a road that's relatively slow that goes straight between them. And then there is also the Florida Turnpike, which goes south, and then you can get on another one that goes west. And it winds up being all highways for the entire trip and no traffic lights and no traffic or minimal traffic. So the GPS suggested that we go down the straight road. I was like, well, we're not going to do that. And because we knew how to get back to Orlando. And so we got onto the Florida Turnpike and started heading south. And the GPS was not going to take our change of direction. It said, you need to turn around and go back to where you got on the turnpike and continue down the straight road that takes you all the way there. Unfortunately, the next exit where we could turn around on the Florida Turnpike was the one that we were going to take anyway to go to Orlando. So this GPS kept insisting that we needed to go down to where we were headed, go back, and then take a detour through the area that we didn't want to go. It was trying to vector us, and it was doing the best that it could, but it was woefully inadequate. And it's just such a wonderful reminder that as much as you want to follow the guidance, maybe the guidance isn't exactly what you should be following. Maybe there's a little bit more to be aware of. Maybe there's a little bit more that's going on instead of just blindly following the instructions that you've been given. So the way that you do anything is the way that you do everything. And when you get that nudge in the direction that you want to be going, then it can help. We were talking during the telling prayer work stories, is we learn this technique of doing practical prayer, of turning our awareness to the infinite power and presence that creates everything, and then identifying that we are part of that one, that divine mind that knows all, that creative power that creates everything, that infinite love that shares itself as everything. That is the truth of what we are as well. And with that knowledge, we can set a new intention and invite that power to create something new in our lives. And it does. The last two steps of the prayer are about gratitude, being thankful for the good, for the awareness of the process, and then being able to release that, to let it go, and to let that creative law head off in a new direction. So that's the nudge, and that's the vector. And when we are setting about to deepen our spiritual practice, our level of spirituality, do it. Persist. As we heard today, you don't necessarily have to do the full-blown prayer if you get yourself into the state of this is who I am, and I'm following my spiritual practice all the time. Don't put it on autopilot. Keep on doing it. And then what happens is we tend to be more spiritually minded. We tend to be more in the flow of having that new experience unfold in a way that's in harmony and accord with what we're looking for. Same thing happens with our finances. Can we pray for money? The big question that people who are not involved in New Thought ask, can we pray for money? Yes, we can pray for money, but we don't specifically pray for money. Because if we pray for money, then what we're going to wind up needing probably is more money. So the money shows up along the way as a reminder that it's an infinite universe. But what we really want to do is have balance in our finances. So we want to nudge ourselves in the direction of being in that place of balance. That may look like a job that pays a lot more money. It may look like a dramatic change in our living expenses and our experience. It could show up in lots and lots of different ways. But when we then find ourselves in a place of balance where the amount that's available is more than enough to meet the requirements that we have, as a friend of mine said, when you get to the first of the month and you don't notice it, that's wealthy. It's about making a nudge and then persisting. You know, if we're putting money into a savings account or a 401k, it doesn't help to do that once. Do that again and do it again, do it again, do it again, and let that continue to improve. It works in everything. It works in our workplace. How many people do you know who say, "Oh, I always find that I'm working for a jerk. My boss is always such a tyrant," or "My coworkers never respect me," or X, Y, or Z. People waste my time. And I have been in awful workplaces, which have been hostile and toxic and unpleasant and so forth. And I don't work in any of those anymore. But when I notice myself having a pattern, the thing that the thing that all those bad workplaces had in common was me. So the nudge is, okay, what experience do I want to have instead? What kind of a workplace do I want to be involved in? And oh, by the way, let me become aware if I am the sort of person who belongs in a workplace like that. Because if I like to be a bull in a china shop and tell everybody exactly what they should be doing and boss them around, but I don't like to be in an environment where somebody is pushing and bossing around and acting like a bull in a china shop, then there's a disconnect. I need to figure out what it is that I want to have. I want to be aware of what I'm bringing to it, and then set the intention of whatever change is going to happen. Ditto in relationships. So if I want to be in this wonderful, mutually respectful, loving, kind, uplifting relationship, and I don't want to change anything about the way that I've been doing stuff, and I don't want to hang around with any new people, well, okay, you guys can see where the problem is there. So it is about awareness and intention. And the really important thing is that the intention is huge. Setting a new intention, having an intention for something to be changing is amazing. We did the class on living untethered. And as we're going through the book and going through the class, the question kept coming up. It's like, well, how do we make this stuff work in our life? How do we get into this place of living untethered? And when we got to the part of the book where he's explaining what you do, intention is it's the big thing. There is not a formula for how you make these changes. The big thing is to set the intention to make the changes and then persist. Okay, it is my intention to have this experience in my life change. There's something for me to do. There's a step for me to take. I'm going to take a step in that direction. And it might be just a little off from where I've been headed before. And then I'm going to keep moving in that direction. Instead of going off that way and then coming back to what I've always done, I want to let the change happen. Let the small change become a bigger change, become a bigger change. And that awareness is if I think I'm heading down the wrong path, instead of just beating myself up for being on the wrong path, what I really want to do is see what path I'd rather be on, and then check in from time to time. I'm heading in my new direction. I've chosen my new path. This is the path that I'm going to be on. Do not assume that you were right, that you had it exactly right the first time. The thing about those lunar missions is they kept on adjusting course on the way back. A little bit to the left, a little bit to the right, a little high, a little low, to make sure that they came in exactly where they needed to as they re-entered the Earth's atmosphere. So checking in to maintain that level of awareness. Is this the path that I want to be on now? Yes, great. Continue stepping into this is the direction I want to go in. That's where I'm going to persist. No, still not right. Now, the whole Goldilocks story. This one's too hard. This one's too soft. This one's just right. Okay, find the one that's just right, and then continue to work that part of the program because you can. We've all, seen huge ships, and they make really, really large turns. And it's possible if you got a ship that's heading out across the ocean, you make a little tiny 1 degree, 2 degree change. It doesn't seem like it's going to take that much, but over time and over distance, that ship goes into a completely different location than it was going to. Had an experience of a ship in Baltimore not going in the direction that it wanted to be going in. Would have been much better to have turned a little bit to the left. Okay, they would have. There was circumstances that they didn't. But that's an example of what can happen when we're not paying attention, when we're not empowering ourselves and being aware and intentional about the direction that we're going to be going in. You want to be in a loving relationship? Be a loving person. Be the sort of person who acts the way that you want other people to treat you, and it turns on the law of attraction in a magnificent way. And suddenly, people who you've never met before start showing up, or people who you've known forever start being nice to you. Go figure. Go figure. There are people, and I think the advances in technology had a lot to do with people not carrying a lot of cash around. And then the pandemic reinforced that a lot. But there are people who would take the change out of their pocket at the end of the day and put it in a jar. And it's just, take the change and put it in a jar. It got to the point where at the Wawa, there was a little donate thing next to every cash register. So if you got your change, you can just donate it to feeding the hungry or whatever their charity happened to be. And one of the things that I noticed is that those were always full because people would take their change and rather than put it back in their pocket, they'd just donate it. Well, if you take, the 4 cash registers that are at every Wawa and every Wawa that exists everywhere and multiply that out by all the people who are leaving their spare change, it is a much larger version of what happens when you take the change and you put it in the jar at the end of every day. Because when you do that for a day, you've got 70 cents. And you do that for a month and you got a few dollars. But if you do that for a few years, you got a nice weekend away or maybe a vacation for the family. And that's the small change. That's the way that the small change can happen. So be present and involved and engaged in the small changes. And most importantly, being intentional. Being intentional and being aware of what it is that's going on. The awareness is huge. I was reading the description of what I said I was going to be talking about today, which was going to be small change, but it's about small changes allowing us to be free from those big, sudden, dramatic, oh my God, how did this happen changes. And they're different ends of the same spectrum. If we're intentional about where we are and where we want to be, then those big dramatic changes don't tend to come along or they don't tend to be as dramatic. We get to be engaged in the process of life. And when something does come along, instead of throwing us completely off balance because we've been involved in our spiritual practice and we've become aware of who we are, we know what we can bring to it. So there's a lot. And next time you find yourself with a pocket full of change, you get to be intentional about that too. Change is at hand. And you can change the way you do anything and allow that to change the way that you do everything. And allow and invite and create more good in your life and then thereby in the world around you and the lives of the people you come in contact with. Let that be our truth as we're moving forward from today. Go for it. You deserve it. So it is.
None of us start out looking like a jewel. We're all rough around the edges, unfinished, a little jagged too. We're not ready for the ring, not cut out for crowns, a buried treasure waiting to be found. But it takes patience and pressure and feeling lost in the dark, in the hard work, in the hard times we find out who we are. Something beautiful is taking shape. We can't hurry through these making a diamond days. In the moment, the slow passing, the long and lonely nights, we don't notice all the changes the hammer, the chisel, the struggle bring to life. But somewhere underneath the weight of earth and time, the stone that is a heart begins to shine. But it takes patience and pressure and feeling lost in the dark, in the hard work, in the hard times we find out who we are. Something beautiful is taking shape. We can't hurry through these making a diamond days. We're all meant to catch the It takes patience and pressure and feeling lost in the dark. In the hard work, in the hard times, we find out who we are. Something beautiful taking shape, we can't hurry through. These making a diamond days. We're making a diamond days. We're making a diamond.
This is the time in our celebration that we set aside for meditation. And we've already experienced a lot. We've had music, we've had prayer, we've had Reverend Bill's wisdom, ritual. And the other thing that strikes me and is very close to my heart is today. This is the eve of the 54th observation of Earth Day. And so I'm going to do my best to address everything I can in this meditation and honor everything I can. And I would like to, before we start breathing that one breath together, I am going to offer you a blessing from very much shamanically based and also earth-based from the Apache Nation of the Indigenous Americans. And it goes something like this. May the sun bring you new energy by day. May the moon softly restore you by night. May the rain wash away your worries. May the breeze blow new strength into your being. May you walk gently through the world and know its beauty all the days of your life. Now we'll begin as usual as we start our meditation. Close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. And by all means, turn away from everything out there that is calling for your attention. All you need to do right now is be present in this moment. And find yourself seated comfortably. If you like, place your hands on your laps with your palms pointed upward. Be very aware of your feet on the floor. And just know, like I am, I'm up on the 7th floor of an apartment building, so my feet are not directly connected to the earth, but there is an energetic tie that runs from the bottoms of my feet to the very core of the earth. And also, give your mind, place a demand upon what Michael Singer calls that automatic talk, that seemingly endless chatter. Place a demand on that to be still, to be quiet, so you can be fully present to this moment. And draw in a deep breath of this love, this pure white light, this love, this light which symbolizes the divine. And allow it to flow through you, through every aspect of your being, to that which is that one appearing as form, but truly there is no form, it's just spirit appearing as such. Through your body, to every particle, every molecule, every cell, every tissue, every organ, every bit of that which we call our body, and through all the energetic layers that surround it. And allow that to flow through what scientists tells us is like more than 99% empty space within our body. It's not empty, spirit is there. And allow, and as you release that breath, and I recommend cleansing breath, so release it through your mouth, just allow that light to carry away, to wash away whatever it is that has long ago served its purpose, which you may hold onto, which may have never held a constructive or useful loving purpose for you. Just allow that to just be washed away. Anything that up until now may have obscured your full experience of your own divinity and that which is everywhere present, allow that to be washed away, to move into the light and in the presence of God as divine alchemist. Allow that to return once more to be light and love. And as you draw in your next breath, I invite you to focus on your ajna, your third eye, the center of your higher consciousness. That color, beautiful color, indigo, your higher senses. And open that mind's eye very wide and develop in that eye a picture, a very, very inclusive picture of this one, which is also known by many other names. Call her Earth, call her Mother Earth, call her Gaia, Mother Gaia. And I often refer to her as the manifest body of God appearing as the Divine Mother. And just develop as full a picture of that as you can in your mind's eye. Include yourself in that picture and everyone here. Allow that love to flow and to enter into that picture. And as you release that breath, you release that love and light. That love and light goes out and connects with all the love there is and connects each of us, all forms of life, as one, breathing that one breath together. And with our third breath together, I again invite you to focus on your third eye and to further develop that picture. And as you release this, take this moment. If you happen to be fortunate enough to be outdoors where you can put your feet on the earth, do so, your hands, do so. Or if you're like me, up 7 floors, just extend your arms out to your sides a bit. Put your palms down towards the earth. As you exhale that breath, send her your love. Send her blessings. Send her your gratitude for everything she has so lovingly given to you. And whatever other blessings you may want to confer upon her, feel free to do so. And may it be so. And now I turn my focus to the reading we had, and this is so much a part of our teaching, is that we are all at choice. And that biggest choice, which is mentioned by Einstein, is to choose what our perception is of this world. Do we live in a hostile world that is unloving, rough, prickly? Or do we live in one that is loving, that is nurturing, that is giving, that is gentle, is divine harmony and order? And the second choice is what I would call is your MO, your default behavior, your up until now behavior. And the choice here, the first choice is when you are faced with a situation, whatever comes into your experience, you react. And with reaction comes the drama, the stories, wasted energy, and perhaps what might be a very small thing gets magnified into something that is overwhelming and much bigger than it truly is. Or would you choose to respond? And whenever I hear that word respond, I am reminded of one of the first prayers I learned, and I will share that with you. That prayer is simply, Spirit, reveal to me what it is that I must know so that I may respond lovingly, creatively, and wisely for my good and the good of everyone concerned, as you are very gently, free of any attachment, holding whatever that situation is in mind. And when you choose to respond, this is a very mindful act. You are calling in that divine GPS, God, Goddess, whatever you may call it. You're asking for divine guidance, for divine wisdom. And in so doing, whatever on a moment's glance, first glance may seem to be overwhelming and magnifying, and you don't know which way to turn. When you're calling in that guidance, whatever that is that seems to be unmanageable or undoable becomes that much easier, that much more doable. Because you are being guided. It is divine working through you, guiding you into the right and perfect next steps. And I have no doubt in my mind that each of us present has made the choice to respond rather than to react. Has made the choice to see this universe as loving, gentle, and giving. So I invite you now to very gently, free of any attachment, give it as little energy as possible, any situation in your life which seems to be fairly complex and may require many, many multiple steps or tries. And you may use that prayer that I presented to you or any other invocation you use to invite in divine guidance and divine wisdom. And that divine GPS will show you the way. It shows you the way. So I invite you now to just bring some situation that you are facing in your experience, which on the surface seems overwhelming and, oh, I don't know, can I do this? This is too much. And just be still. And allow yourself to be guided. It is all we need to do at this moment is just gently hold that situation. Move into the quiet to hear, to listen, to receive, and to be rightly guided.
We seek balance, harmony, wholeness, beauty. We start with choices, considering and evaluating. We use awareness, focus, openness to the endless possibilities and divine guidance. To create an intention, a roadmap, set our course on our own personal vector. If what we resist persists, what we intend extends. There's power and creativity in that. Be grateful. Grateful for everything we have. Be grateful for the outcome of what you intend, even if you can't see it yet. That's faith. Take a deep breath. Shrug your shoulders. Move around a little bit, wiggle your fingers and toes. Take a breath and come back to the room. And Susan will play another song.
We said we'd walk together, baby, come what may. That come the twilight, should we lose our way? If as we're walking, a hand should slip free, I'll wait for you. Should I fall behind, wait for me. We swore we'd travel, darling, side by side. We'd help each other stay in stride. But each lover's steps fall so differently. I'll wait for you. If I should fall behind, wait for me. Now everyone dreams of love, lasting and true. Oh, but you and I know what this world can do. So let's make our steps clear, that the other may see. And I'll wait for you. If I should fall behind, wait for me. Now there's a beautiful river in the valley ahead. There 'neath the oak's bough, soon we will be led. Should we lose each other, the shadow of the evening trees, I'll wait for you. Should I fall behind, wait for me. Yeah, I'll wait for you. Should I fall behind, wait for me. Wait for me. Wait for me.
Thank you, Susan. It was the script. We're looking at Susan through a cloud bank.
Oh no. Oh, I didn't even realize that. Oh, well, it was a meditation. I'm so sorry.
That was fine.
Forgive
And
me
it was,
for that.
and for everybody who was concerned about that, this is an exercise in non-attachment and becoming untethered. It's like, okay,
Oh my God.
there will be an awareness of this at
So
some point.
sorry.
It happens. And the chances of that happening if we're in person are much less because you need a lot of paper to hide yourself from the whole audience. So we're up to the part of the program where we get to talk about what we've been thinking about and what's been pinging us and so forth. So anybody have anything that's come to mind that you want to give voice to about a new vector, a new choice, a small change? You just wave your hand or hit the reaction button. We'll share along. Go ahead, Sarah.
Not that I want to restrict how other people's influences like take part in my life, but what kept coming up for me was the idea of like ideas or people becoming vectors, like becoming these like time sucks or draws and being like, because like I want to be a person who is loving and supportive and helpful in a multitude of ways to and for a multitude of people. What kept coming up is like that reminder of continuing to turn that inward and making sure that like everything that's coming up in the world, like being mindful about what you give your energy and thoughts to, both from like an external but also an internal. Like I want to continue to be able to show up in a specific way, and the only way that you can do that is by like, we talk about like putting your own oxygen mask on first and like making sure that you can pour, but your cup has to be empty. And then I chase my own tail sometimes because my friends will tell me something to the effect of like, you don't have to, like, just because you have the opportunity or whatever, like, you don't have to, like, at a certain point, like your cup doesn't refill. And so there's this weird, funny belief that I hold that like the cup never can't not get fully filled. So I have to look at like there's reality and then there is your desire within your own brain, and being able to like balance reality with desire while full knowing that it's like an unlimited universe. So like it's a fun little invitation and challenge in a sense to recognize what pushes and pulls you and recognize what grounds you, and making sure that like you're in that, you get what I'm saying, like that balance point between the two. And now I'm going to stop talking. Those were my thoughts.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. I had a very liberating experience many, many years ago because I would struggle at work to finish everything on my to-do list every day. And at one point, it just became obvious I'm not going to be able to do this. And it's like, oh, that was very liberating because now I know there's stuff I'm not going to get done. So it's much more about being in balance and doing the things that I do well rather than getting it all. So yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Anybody else? Something that you'd like to give voice to? All right.
Hi, hi, this is Carol. I have difficulty discerning what I should let go of. And I found that it's been really helpful to me when I do let go of something. And this is typically, I'm thinking of something like a commitment, a committee, something I'm involved in. I'll keep it on my calendar after I've let go of it. And when I see it, I just feel a lot of gratitude, and it affirms that I am able to let go of things. I don't know if it makes it easier to discern those things going forward, because it can be very, very difficult. And then in retrospect, it seems easy. Like, well, of course, why did I do that so long?
Yeah, beautiful. And keeping those reminders around
Yeah.
to remind us of the trajectory that we've been on. Not that that's still the path that we're on, but okay, that's our baseline. That's the one that we're vectoring from. Beautiful insight. Thank you. Jane, it's your turn.
Okay. I just want to speak to this really quickly because what Sarah said and what Carol said. We have these little free libraries out in front of our house that we made. And so recently I've been making my own bookmarks, watercolor bookmarks with affirmations on the other side of them. And then I put like a bunch of them out in my library, and then people take a bookmark with the book. So I'm like, all right, that's cool. So the other day I made an affirmation on the back of one of the watercolor bookmarks, and it said, N-O, period. And then in parentheses, that's a sentence. And, I like it because, as we're getting to know like what's right for us and what's not right for us, I mean, I can't speak to anybody else, but sometimes up until now in the past, I've been guilty of like, okay, yeah, I'll do that. Sure. And I'm not standing in my power and saying no. And it is a complete sentence. No, period. I don't have to explain why it doesn't work for me, why I don't want to do it. It's just no, because I'm giving myself space for the new things that are
Yeah.
going to work better.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Give yourself
I
room to say
digress.
yes to something else.
Yes, right. Okay, so we're going to do our offering now. New Thought Philadelphia is all about spreading the love. Our community is supported by your contributions. The gift you share helps fund our work in the world, and the way you shine your light spreads the love. We have a basket. Oh, we don't have a basket in the room because, we're on Zoom here. But there's a donate button on the website to make a donation by Zelle, Cash App, credit card, PayPal, or Venmo. And you can also mail a check to our office in Ardmore. We are grateful for every way you share. The offering affirmation is on the screen. We'll all unmute and say the affirmation together. I live in an abundant universe. I am one
with the infinite source of all good. I am
I am a center of conscious prosperity.
I enjoy the richness of life.
I bless
my
gift.
gift.
I
I
share my
gift
gift, gratitude and joy.
Know that as I give,
I
do
do
receive. So it is.
And so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Susan, one more.
And now you can see me. How awesome.
Birds are going crazy. The sun is on the rise. Why worry about tomorrow, baby? Just look in my eyes. Today's laid out before us. It's blooming like a wildwood rose. We gotta let the beauty take us. Find a way to make the most. We don't know where we're going. No destination in mind. Oh, we don't know where we're going, but we're making great time. The world is too much with you. I've seen it spin you round. All that
Thank you, Susan. Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you, everybody, for being here today. What a wonderful Sunday celebration. Earth Day tomorrow. So do something earthy. Get your feet. It is my calendar says that it's tomorrow. 420 was yesterday, and there's a whole story about why the 420 people think that that's a thing. But we're going to do that some other time. Right now, let us all unmute our microphones, and we can join together in one more cacophony. This one going to be in honor of Emile Coué. Came to me. So repeat after me. Every day in every way.
Every day, every way.
Way.
My life is getting better and better.
My life is getting better and better.
Change is happening now.
Change
happening
is
now.
happening
Now.
And I am blessed.
I'm blessed.
Blessed.
So it is.